Hey there, folks. This is Russ Colchimero. Some of you know me from my podcast, Russ's Rock and Roller Coaster. I am also a science fiction, fantasy, and mystery author. And my new book is out now, Crackle and Fire. Genre-wise, it's sci-fi noir, so sort of a combination of Doctor Who, Blade Runner, and Philip Marlowe. So if you like Private Eyes and mystery and murder and suspense mixed in with your science fiction, you'll have come to the right place. So the setup, is that Angela Hardwick has been hired by a galactic accountant to track down an intern who was absconded with some missing files, very sensitive files. And along the way, Hardwick has already run into various unsavory and dangerous characters. But at this point in the story, she has actually made her way down to Earth for reasons I'm not going to explain, nor am I going to say how she gets there. And she's tracking down some leads. And she's in upstate New York in the Buffalo area, modern day, and she's on her own, and she is following a new lead. So here we go. Uncle Rich, the lead. A few problems, however. I'm driving a dead man's car, having just left his house where he was murdered, and the place was ransacked by me. Not a good look. I need to ditch this ride, find a new one. I also jumped to Earth in my standard getup, a pinstripe suit, zip boots, fedora. In E-Town, it works, but here I look exactly like what I am, a private eye, a long way from home, poking around in places I don't belong. For camouflage, I wear a Buffalo State College sweatshirt from Hanson's Closet and a pair of white, moderately clean sneakers, which are at least 4 sizes too large for me. That's me, Angela Hardwick, supermodel. I roll my gear into a knapsack, which I also took from Hanson's Closet. Sorry, Arthur, a girl's gotta make do. I'm behind the wheel of his silver 4-door. It's a standard issue vehicle, as I've seen at least a half dozen just like it in the 10 minutes I've been on the road. It blends. I don't like to drive even under normal circumstances, but doing it here on Earth is stranger to me than if I was zooming through an asteroid belt. As a realm, Eternity, where she's from, is populated with urban centers, E-Town being my home turf, surrounded by waterfront neighborhoods, mountain ranges, villages, rivers, oceans, and various green spaces. But there's no true suburban landscape. America is loaded with them. For decades, there was a mass exodus to the suburbs, although Americans are migrating back to the cities en masse because that's where the action is. If they're going to be broke or in debt or otherwise stressed beyond their limits, they want their kink to be easily accessible. Some things are universal. But that's the problem with this country, this planet. Earth has a population of more than 7 billion people. Eternity doesn't even have a fraction of that number. Yet it's amazing to me just how much Earth reminds me of E-Town. We have a 12-month calendar. So do they. Our days are 24 hours long, our weeks 7 days. They have 4 rotating seasons, as do we. Although we live much longer, the perception of the passage of time is slower for us than for them. Earthers look and sound like Eternitarians. Their languages make absolutely no sense to me, but passing through the cosmic membrane allows me to understand them, and vice versa. No idea why. Then again, don't care. Apparently, the minders of the universe, the old ones anyway, had great plans for Earth. As the story goes, the minders infused this planet with the embers of eternity in a way they didn't for many others. Again, no idea why. Yet I'm told Earthers have the innate potential to evolve to the point where they themselves might one day be worthy of a place in eternity to help construct the very universe they live in. Do I believe it? Who knows? It's as plausible as any other scenario I've encountered. Other than living in eternity, because that's where we keep our stuff, I couldn't give you a single reason, not one qualitative characteristic that favorably separates Eternitarians from anyone else in the cosmos. I could list dozens of reasons why we're worse. I wonder what it means sometimes, this power the minders have over the universe, the role we Eternitarians play in serving them. I've given up trying to figure out what the minders are up to. Even when I think I have a clue, a glimmer of truth, I realize their vision of the universe is so far beyond my comprehension that it drives me to make decisions I quickly regret. Makes me wonder if Owen, that's her son, isn't maybe better off without me, my boy, my baby boy. Stop, Angela. Don't follow that thread. It leads nowhere good. Focus on the essentials. Like on my need to change, pee, and eat, and not necessarily in that order. Beneath a leaden sky, I park Hanson's car in the lot of a multi-purpose 3-level retail outlet where I use the restroom, wash my face, apply a light layer of lipstick, then recheck the money belt strapped around my waist. I have more than 30 money belts in my safe back in E-Town, one each for the various realms I've encountered, and a few I'm either hoping to get to or, as is the nature of my business, where I'll eventually end up. This one labeled with an unbreakable code and decryption-proof algorithm that took me years to perfect so that no one other than me knows which is marked Earth. I've got my Earth-registered PI license, driver's license, passport, cash, and credit cards. Renfro, a former client, was a huge help securing these documents during one of my earliest cases out here. Wandering through the superstore, I pick up a pair of blue jeans, black sneakers, socks, and an arugula-colored utility jacket with inner mesh lining that's stylish and flexible enough for my needs. I pull my hair into a ponytail, then grab a 3-pack of underwear, a sports bra, and a small box of tampons just in case. Going off-road plays havoc with my cycle. I'm dying for a steak, medium rare, but I make do in this crappy cafe with a crappy spinach salad and what they advertise as grilled chicken, also crappy. I then load up on energy bars, a brick of Cadbury Royal dark chocolate, and extra strength pain relievers. I have no idea how long I'll be here, so better to have supplies. I also need to deal with the car. As a private eye, you sometimes need to think like a criminal. The goal is to uncover their motives, track their progress, and anticipate their moves. But even though I swore an oath and I'm bound to my license code of ethics, sometimes you have to act like a criminal. And in a way, I am. I did enter Arthur Hansen's house without his consent. I did find his dead body and left it unreported. I stole his car, and I'm doing so to avoid detection. If that doesn't sound like a criminal, I'm not sure what does. Nevertheless, I need to follow the leads I've got. So I leave Hansen's car in the superstore lot, then with my supplies in a white plastic bag, walk past several rundown retailers, half of them vacant. There's a mobile phone service outlet, Goodwill donation center, auto parts shop, and a dollar store when I reach a gas station where a green and white cab is filling up. I need a lift to Canastillo, I say to the driver. Know where that is? Miss, says the driver, ebony skin, broad-shouldered, with what looks like a shaving cut under his chin. That's a good 2 hours, about halfway between nowhere and the pimple of America's ass crack, and then 2 hours back. I'm not making the trip. I also might need you to hang out a while, and depending on how things go, take me back, I say, ignoring his protests, part of the negotiation. Can you handle that? Gonna cost you extra, but if you can pay, I can handle. I flash a thick billfold. Hop in, he says. One more thing. I need you to keep this off your log, I say. You never met me. I was never here. You filled up with gas, had a stomach ache, called it a day. Sorry, man. Can't do that. It's against the rules. Could lose my license. Through the partition, I hand him a $100 bill. I've been in Esteban's cab so many times, I'm practically a cab driver myself. He cuts side deals all the time. There's another one of these with your name on it, plus the fare. How do the rules feel about that? The driver eyes me through the rear view. Show me a few more of those Benjamins, the rules will feel just fine about it. I hand him the money. It takes a minute for me to sink in, but I'm finally able to exhale and close my eyes. There's that tug in me, the pull of drops, the desperate, inconsolable urge that cannot be satisfied in any other way. But there's no way to get my super drug down here, no matter what I do. I get hysterical for a few seconds. Sweat oozes from every pore, and then it passes. That's the key. I know the urges will never resolve, not permanently. I just can't give in when they come. Leaving the greater Buffalo area, I let the engine's hum and rhythm of the wheels soothe me when a magnificent breath leaves my body. It's the breaks I need, the in-between spaces, especially when I'm off-realm, when I'm totally alone. I used to have Milo in my corner to bail me out of a jam if I really needed him. When I first met Milo, before he was a minder of the universe, he was the polar opposite, the great disruptor, the cosmic foil to the minders, but we had a connection. I think I got him, and I think he got me. His job, his purpose, his reason for being was to cause trouble throughout the universe, not to be destructive, but to interfere, just enough to slow the minders down, forcing them to rethink their cosmic plans, a check on their ambition, power, and hubris. Milo loved the universe. More, he loved the beings who populated it. He was our watchdog, whether we knew it or not. He got a bad rap a lot of the time, a troublemaker, a fool. But those of us who knew him, who really knew him, couldn't help but love him, even when he screwed up, especially then, because if he was fallible, it was okay for us to be fallible too. He even gave me a sequence, my own personal call signal. Right hand balled into a fist, 3 squeezes. Then the same pattern again with my left hand, followed by one more squeeze, both fists at the same time. I've used it more times than I probably should have. Milo always showed up, usually late, but in all the jams I've gotten into, he never let me down, never let me forget he was out there, that he was listening, that I mattered. I don't know what we are to each other now, if we're anything at all, and he's got my son. I've tried to make my peace with it, with that Owen is out there with Milo somewhere, that he's okay. Because I trust, even though he's unavailable to me, that Milo is still keeping an eye out for Owen. Milo did that for me once upon a time when I was lost in drops, in no condition to be Owen's mother. I'm not even sure I'm ready now, but I'm working at it. I'm fighting my addiction, getting it under control. Milo's a lot of things, but he would never turn his back on Owen, never, ever, which is the reason I'm holding it together. It torments me not knowing where Owen is or what he's doing, but I cling to the belief that as long as he's with Milo, that Owen is okay. I have to believe that, because if I don't, my mind drifts, I almost doze off, and then I realize I forgot the backpack in Hanson's car, my suit, my fedora, my zip boots, my second skin. I left it all behind. Well, anyway, so that gives you a little bit of a taste of what she's going through as she's sort of in this transitional phase between being up there and coming down to earth to investigate this situation, and she's trying to figure out where she is in the setting of all this. So again, Crackle and Fire is available from Crazy 8 Press in both paperback and ebook forms. It's sci-fi noir. If you like Doctor Who, Blade Runner, Philip Marlowe, Private Eyes, and with your sci-fi, this is the way to go. Available on Amazon today. Thanks very much. I hope you liked it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.